Now here we have something kind of interesting. This is a piece of garbage Durabrand home theater system with built-in DVD player. Found this thing at the dump. I thought, well, take it with you, because usually in those very cheap stereo systems you can still salvage a somewhat decent transformer and a somewhat decent heatsink, and sometimes they contain interesting integrated circuits. Well, this thing is kind of different. Yeah, it's made by Durabrand. They're always something else, as it seems. Well, we screwed this open, and absolute amazement. I mean, look at that amplifier part. Look at that. There are no heat sinks, and you know, we first thought this was absolutely cheap garbage with like, you know, 0.5 watts per channel or something. But that's actually not true. As far as I've understood the circuit, the subwoofer is 40 watts and all the satellites are 20 watts. Well, that sounds kind of crazy, but it's actually true. Because this thing contains a digital amplifier. We have this thing down there is a digital sound processor with electronic volume and treble and bass and dynamics control. And then we have two 4-channel digital amplifier chips. And digital amplifiers are so efficient that they don't even need a heatsink, or they just rarely need heat sinks, you know, only when they are very high-powered amplifiers. So just wanted to show this to you. It's kind of interesting. Also kind of interesting to find this kind of a setup, which is a bit of a high-tech thing still, to find that in a Durabrand thing. Now, still, this all doesn't mean that Durabrand is good, because digital amplifiers have to have a very, very good design to sound good. And I can clearly tell that this is not a good design. I mean, there are just very few components all around it, and you need quite massive chokes and stuff like that to filter out all the digital garbage that digital amplifiers like to add to the output sound signal. Over there, processor for DVD player, that kind of garbage. The mechanism, which of course does not work. And here is the power supply. This is a switch power supply, and this is the only thing I'm going to keep out of this thing. It's going to go back to the dump today, hopefully. The power supply is kind of interesting because it does have these chips or transistors down there. Those might be interesting. This transformer, or whatever that is kind of interesting. As you can see, it has spaces for many different coils. You can see there are tons of wires coming out of that. So it might be something useful transformer part that I could probably rewire and make something useful out of. And over there we have, this seems to be an insulation transformer, so I'm going to keep that as well. Here is a 100 microfarad 400 volts capacitor. That might be interesting as well, although it seems like it's bulging a little bit. So anyway, there you have it. Just a quick last look at the front. Durabrand. No longer available here in Germany as far as I know, because Walmart actually went down the pan here in Germany. They are no longer existing over here.